The film begins in a laboratory where a droid is being repaired by mechanical arms. An embryo is then placed into an oval container by the droid, which appears to have some level of consciousness. The baby is soon born, and its cries can be heard as the droid attends to it. The infant grows rapidly, and each stage of development is carefully documented, including her education, which is guided by the same droid that had initially placed her in the incubator, where she had been nurtured until she was strong enough to live independently. One day, she asks the droid, whom she refers to as Mother, why there aren't more children. The droid responds that there used to be more, but they were lost in the wars. The child then says she doesn't want to be human because humans have destroyed everything. The droid replies that humans are capable of wonderful things, and the girl asks why she was the only one created. The droid then shows her the numerous embryos being stored and explains that raising a child takes time and requires learning, as it is not an easy task. It has been 13,867 days since the events that led to the extinction of humanity, and the girl is now the only living human. As a teenager, she has grown capable of helping her mother, repairing the droid when it malfunctions. Her education continues, focusing on philosophy, and she is tested on her understanding of complex ideas. Like many humans, she grapples with these lessons, which often raise more questions. One night, she captures a rat in a glass jar after it chews through some cables. The droid is surprised, believing the rat couldn't have survived outside their sealed environment. Concerned that it might carry contamination, the droid incinerates the rat, much to the girl's dismay. The droid then thoroughly cleans the area to ensure no contaminants from the rat have breached their environment. For her birthday, the girl receives only a pair of pajamas as a gift. Though disappointed, she hides her feelings. Later that night, she picks at her food, unable to eat, and her mother notices something is troubling her. The girl asks how they can be certain of what's happening outside if they never leave their enclosed space. The droid reassures her, reminding her that she has always been accurate in her assessments. However, the girl's curiosity only deepens. One night, her growing inquisitiveness drives her to action. She dons protective gear and, hearing a persistent noise outside, decides to unlock the doors and investigate. There is someone outside calling for help. The girl leaves protective clothing outside for her and unlocks the first set of doors. She allows the woman inside, but leaves her near the entrance, worried that her mother wouldn't approve. Her mother is displeased with her actions and insists she resume her lessons immediately, since she had been reluctant to read. Sneaking away, the girl returns to help the woman she had led into the facility. The woman is asleep, and the girl quietly removes her weapon before attempting to wake her. When the woman stirs, she immediately asks for antiseptics or bandages. The girl is astonished that anyone could have survived outside. She promises to come back and help, hiding the woman for the time being. Upon seeing the droid, the woman becomes frightened and frantically searches through her bag for her missing weapon.
Hello?
Realizing it's gone, she confronts the girl, demanding it back. The girl tries to reassure her, explaining that she is safe inside, but the woman refuses to believe her. She is adamant about leaving the facility, claiming that it was droids that had attacked her outside. Suddenly, the woman grabs the girl as they hear the droid approaching. She shoots at the droid, but the shot is in the dark. In retaliation, the droid nearly destroys her, but the girl pleads for her life. The droid eventually takes the woman to the infirmary, though the woman remains distrustful. They argue, and the droid asserts that its primary directive is to care for humanity. It leaves medication for the woman and invites her to use it. Later, the girl questions her mother about the lies she had been told regarding the contaminants outside. The droid explains that this deception was the only way to keep her safe. The facility, it turns out, was created by humans as a safeguard in the event of their extinction. The droid suggests they lock the woman up until she can be trusted, and further proposes that they will need the woman's assistance to locate other survivors and protect them from dangerous droids. The girl insists the woman will trust her instead. As the girl sifts through the contents of the woman's bag, she discovers a few items, including a book that brings a smile to her face. At the infirmary, the injured woman prays with a rosary. When the girl mentions the book she found, the woman becomes angry. She doesn't trust the girl or the droid, recounting how droids had burned babies and starved families, making it clear she would never trust one. The girl asks her mother about her own past, but realizes she has no memory of ever living anywhere but in this facility. They return to check on the injured woman, who is getting worse but still refuses help from the droid. There is a bullet lodged in her hip and the wound has become infected. The girl offers to remove the bullet, and under the droid's guidance, she successfully does so. When the woman wakes up, she is initially frightened, but the girl calms her down and provides her with food, which she devours hungrily. The droid observes as the girl and the woman begin to bond. The girl tries to convince the woman to trust them, but the woman shares a story about what the droids, whom she calls dozers, did to her and her friend Jacob during a supply run. She also talks about the people in her book, telling the girl about each one of them. The girl suggests they bring other survivors to the facility for safety, but the woman offers a different idea. She urges the girl to leave with her, away from the facility and to the mines, where she believes it will be safer. The droid suggests that the woman had been shot by another human, not a droid, as the bullet extracted from her body matched the one fired from the weapon she had used against the droid. Having confiscated the woman's bag, the droid now rummages through its contents, quickly flipping through the images in the book. It then builds a tracker and places it inside the bag. Meanwhile, the girl takes her exams and is later examined, found to be in perfect health. As a reward, the droid allows her to choose the next member of their family from the stored fetuses. The girl selects one, just as she had once been chosen, opting for a male embryo, which she places in the incubator. Back at the infirmary, the woman attempts to fashion a weapon from a broken piece she had managed to tear off the wall. When the girl confronts her about the bullet matching the one from her own gun, the woman deflects, asking if she had personally seen the bullet or matched it herself. The girl is left uncertain, not knowing what to believe. Later that night, while the droid is asleep, the girl investigates the ballistics report for the bullets and discovers that they do not match. Delving deeper, she uncovers the remains of previous children whom the droid had attempted to raise before her. Their remains are in the incinerator, with their memory sticks labeled as aborted. Shaken, the girl returns to the infirmary, telling the woman she was right all along. The woman insists that the droid feels nothing for her. Though ready to leave, the girl wants to wait for her baby brother, still incubating with 9 hours to go. She also refuses to leave the embryos behind with the droid, concerned for their safety. Despite the woman's warnings, she remains determined to stay until her brother is ready, even if it means returning later to destroy the embryos. As she begins gathering supplies, the droid catches her in the act. The girl quickly explains that she's just preparing formula for her brother. Sensing her anxiety, the droid questions her, but the girl attributes it to excitement for the arrival of her sibling. However, the droid remains suspicious and locks her in before heading to the infirmary with the woman's bag. The girl asks the droid about the others and reveals that she had recorded the woman's conversations with her. The droid confronts the woman, resulting in a violent altercation where the droid sustains some damage. Desperate to get information, the droid attacks the woman, demanding to know the location of the mines. Meanwhile, the girl finds a way to break the glass of her chamber using nitrogen and triggers the alarm. With alarms blaring, the girl attempts to escape with the woman, but the droid locks them in. The droid tries to persuade the girl to stop, but she refuses to listen. In a moment of desperation, the woman takes the girl hostage, threatening to harm her unless the droid opens the doors. Reluctantly, the droid complies, and the two make their way outside. For the first time, the girl steps into the outside world, the only place she had ever known. She immediately attacks the woman, thinking she had tried to harm her. Just then, they hear the sound of engines overhead and run for cover as a small aircraft flies past them. They dash into the corner, and the girl climbs onto a parked vehicle. Alarmed, the woman urges her to get down. The girl inquires about the cornfield and the irrigation system. The woman explains that it had only appeared 6 months ago, and before that, the air had been unbreathable. When they finally reach the mines, the girl is overjoyed to see a large body of water. The woman's dog comes running out to greet her, but there are no other humans around. The woman admits she hasn't seen another human in years, leaving the girl devastated. Despite her disappointment, the girl expresses a desire to return, but the woman insists they can't go back. Sitting by the beach, the girl stares at the picture of the boy from the book the woman had shown her, with the dog by her side. Overcome by emotion, the girl runs back, only to find her path blocked by numerous droids that resemble her mother. They aim their weapons at her, but she asks to speak with her mother. Reluctantly, they let her through. As she walks in, carrying an axe, she hears the faint cries of a baby. She moves cautiously toward the sound. The droid mother, pleased to see her, tells her she's home, where she belongs. The girl insists on seeing her brother, and the droid invites her to do so, but only if she leaves her weapon at the door. At this point, the droid reveals the truth. It couldn't bear to watch humanity destroy itself, so it had taken the responsibility of creating a superior species. Humans who were not prone to the chaos of the past, like the woman who had come to them. The girl confronts her about the previous children, the ones she had hurt because they didn't meet her expectations. Determined, the girl takes her brother and attempts to flee, trapping the droid in the process. It's then that she realizes the droids all share a single consciousness, not individual minds. Desperate, the girl pleads for a different future. She asks to be entrusted with raising her brother and the other unborn humans. She assures the droid that she has learned enough and can continue the task herself. Outside, the other droids continue trying to break in, but everything halts as the girl successfully makes her case. The mother droid permits the girl to shoot her, and with that, all the droids vanish. Meanwhile, in the woman's lonely hideout, she discovers the tracker in her bag just as a droid arrives at her door. It's the same droid asking if she truly thought the girl would stay with her and forget her mother. The droid locks itself in with the woman. In the final scene, the girl is seen holding her little brother as a soft lullaby plays in the background. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, so you never miss our future explorations of timeless classics and hidden gems. Until then, happy watching, and I'll catch you in the comments.